Journey podcast. I have been gone a little bit. I know I've had some pretty crummy videos on Twitch lately, but we're going to fix all that right now, and we're going to get everything back in order and back going. So anybody that hasn't watched or has watched my fumbling through streaming in the last couple of weeks, I have had a ton of issues, and hopefully this time we are on spot and ready to go. I do want to go over a couple things with you, just to get you up to speed. A couple weeks ago, everybody in the house got sick. I was kind of the outlier, but I did have to take care of everybody else. So I got everything, and of course, I still worked through the whole process. So everybody got sick, and everything kind of got pushed back a little bit. So after that, we had started to have some changes in the equipment, and I was starting to have some difficulties, and I wanted to rework the system. So I got a friend of mine on, and we were actually going to record the Space Wolf Combat Patrol to Crusade. That never recorded, it never streamed, it never recorded, it never came live. So there was nothing to put out. Of course, I didn't, with everything that was going on at the time, I didn't get a chance to re-record it. We are going to have Jeff back on, but because of stuff that has come up in the last couple of weeks, I think we're going to be holding off just a little bit. But what I did want to do was, we had that on there. We really screwed up the whole works as far as that goes. We had a great conversation, and that was the important part. And as I'm going to mention, actually, I'll just mention it right now. They put up some new releases in the meantime while I've been out. Of course, those Death Guard and World Eater boxes are out now with those new miniatures and the new combat patrols. And I'm really kind of happy with the combat patrols with both of them. I do like that and the Battle Force boxes as well. I think that they both really came out really, really nice. I think that's a good starter box for both of them. I didn't write those down, so I'm actually going to skip over the contents of those. But I know the Death Guard one, the battle box had those the Death Shroud Terminators, but the Combat Patrol had the Blight Lord Terminators. So if you're looking for Terminators, either way for Death Guard, either one of those boxes would be perfect. They both come with Plague Marines. I think they both came with those Master of Pox miniature. I could be wrong. One of them actually had a Rhino in it. My God, when was the last time you saw a Rhino in a Combat Patrol box? But I think that's pretty exciting. And of course, if you've had a chance to look at the rules for the Rhinos for Chaos, I think they've changed a little bit, and it definitely makes it more worthwhile to take them. So after that, that aside, they also announced the newer Space Wolves miniatures, and of course that was the Blood Claws, the Grey Hunters, the Head Takers, which were, I don't know if they were Gravis or Terminator armor. I'd probably have to take a closer look, but they're definitely bigger guys. And of course, a new Wolfpack Battle Leader. It's such an amazing model. And even after that, they came out with that Arjak Rockfist. And I do like that he's a specific model, but he's got a lot of posability in the bits that you get for him. And really, I think a lot of the stuff you could really kind of pick up and jump and apply that to other stuff. So thank you, Raven. I appreciate that. So I think, and if you haven't seen that Logan Grimnar model that they came out with, that is Primarch level for a chapter master. I mean, he is such a really cool, really impressive looking model. So again, like, we're gonna have Jeff on, and we're gonna go over, but I think we're definitely gonna go over that with when the new codex comes out, because it's obviously, it's got to be right there on the horizon. We just got to see when it's coming out. So, of course, like I said, we're going to definitely revisit that. And then, of course, as you can tell, if you've seen any of my Twitch streams recently, I ran through the gambit of problems. I had sound errors, I had video errors, I had replicating sound, I had sound that I don't even know where it was coming from, coming through the computer. I actually, the last one that I did, I actually had a 7-second delay on my sound. No idea how it happened. So we're trying a whole new system. We're going to try everything and make everything better. So I do apologize, anybody that's been out there. It's been like, oh, I haven't heard from Table Ready Painting in a while. I'm still here. I've just been working out some serious bugs. And from what I understand, it pretty much hits everybody. So it was just my turn at this point. So, of course, for me, one of the biggest things that I did see that's coming out was the Thousand Suns. I'm a huge Thousand Suns fan. As you can see in my background over here, there's Magnus just floating there. He's waiting to get back on the table and cause some destruction. So that's going to happen soon. I'm very excited to actually get that model on the table, because, to be honest with you, he has not been on the table for a game yet. And ever since I painted him, I'm just like, he needs to get on the table. He needs to get on the table. So I'm kind of excited. We're going to get him in there and get him on the table with probably one of those new Rubric Marine boxes. And so they did announce those new, or showed off those new robots. Very cool. The new Combat Patrol and the new Battle Force actually are really cool. The Combat Patrol has the Demon Prince. I know people are kind of meh on the Demon Princes, but I'm very happy with the Demon Prince. I think he would be a good addition. I do like that they added the Demon Prince with Zangors in that box set. So you do get the Shaman as well as the Zangor Enlightened, and those are really cool and interesting looking models. The other thing that I did see was that Battle Force box was the other one that I was going to mention. That has the robots. That also has a set of Rubric Marines, a set of Scarab Occult Terminators, which just fantastic choices. I really like everything in that box, and in fact, it does come with the 3 Exalted Sorcerers, which is on my list to get, because I think the one thing that I am short on with Thousand Suns is actual sorcerers, believe it or not. So with that, that's pretty much all the new stuff that's kind of come out. Some of the stuff that's gone on, I did get a game with Logan. Actually, I got a game with Logan where his Blood Angels kind of just beat the snot out of my Eldar. It was the first time that I put the Eldar on the battlefield, so it was a learning curve for me. I went through the gambit in 10th edition. As soon as 10th edition came out, I looked at all the rules. I don't have NRE models, so I didn't fall into that NRE bounce around the battlefield and tackle all this stuff. I never got into that. I did really want to play a Wraith Lord in the beginning just to trample everything in the path, but I didn't do it. I tried. I always tend to stay away from anything that they're that they claim is overpowered, because I really enjoy playing with stuff and making the games. Yeah, I enjoy playing with stuff. Of course I do. But I like playing the game where everybody has a good time. And I think that's the really important part whenever you're in a game with your friends. Because really, you just want to have fun. You just want to have a good time. And that's what it's all about. I mean, if one guy's just stomping the other guy all the time, it really just destroys all the fun out of the game. So I never kind of fell into that. I didn't want to play my Eldar because of it. I really tried to get that stuff, get my armies into a point where I could play them. So I kind of leaned on my Dark Angels, even when they weren't one of the better models. I leaned in, or armies. I leaned into my Thousand Suns because I really enjoyed playing them and some of the shenanigans they could pull. And really, when 10th edition came out, is kind of when I really got my Thousand Suns to a point where I could really play with them. So with that, I wanted to try playing the Eldar. Well, needless to say, Blood Angels was not the right choice for me to pick on with my Eldar. I tried to play a Force like I played 9th edition. Well, it didn't work out. Between the only thing that really survived really well were the jet bikes. I think I lost 1 out of 6. Well, 6 plus the Farseer. So, but most of the rest of my army got destroyed. I mean, just completely obliterated. So I took that as a loss. I'm definitely learning from that. He got the win, so he was incredibly happy with it. If you wanted to watch it, you could watch it, but there's no sound. So it's probably going to get deleted sooner or later. Now, after that, just this past weekend, we decided to play another game. I played my Dark Angels against Logan's Tyranids and my other son, Michael's Necrons, as a combined force against, they each had 1,000 to my 2,000. I think it worked okay. I think because I'm coming up with a themed game, and there's a couple of them that I'm going to get up here and I'm going to stream, but one of them we're going to dive into Space Marine 2, and I wanted to see how it would work and how balanced it would be. And to me, at least in this edition, because I haven't really tried it before, but in this edition, I feel that the 2 separate 1,000-point forces is not enough to go against a 2,000-point force. Even though the points are the same, I had them share command dice. It really didn't work out. They kind of really need their own command dice pool. So we're going to, when we do the bigger fight, we are going to do separate command dice. Either that, or we might just try to just give each player and do a test run and see how it goes. Because I really want to, I got a couple ideas for Space Marine 2 themed armies. My one friend who I do play Space Marine 2 with on the Xbox, he actually plays Ultramarines. I play Thousand Suns. My son Logan plays Tyranids. I think that's going to be a really cool themed fight. Kind of maybe even do like a narrative where I can have him fight Tyranids and then fight maybe another one where he fights Tyranids and do some custom missions. There's a bunch of resources between the White Dwarfs and some of the other ones that are online, and then do a couple where there's transition where there's Tyranids and Thousand Suns, and it'll get Zach up to date and get him motivated to paint, because he's got AdMech to paint, and I really want to get him on here and do an AdMech combat Patrol the Crusade. So that being said, that's coming in the future. I don't know how soon, but we're trying to work out the bugs. We're definitely going to get that going and get a game in I think I'm going to try to really get heavy on the terrain to make it feel like Space Marine 2, make it feel like that gritty, winding through the passageways, stuff like that. I'm actually wondering, I have some Space Hulk scenery. I'm wondering if I could actually make like a sideboard where he could go through for a mission. Maybe I could do Kill Team or something like that. That would be kind of fun. But we'll work on that. We'll definitely work on that in the near future and get those games up and running, because I really think if we get maybe like a Lieutenant Titus model, maybe a whole squad just to make it fair, and to do some Tyranids and just have him make it so that he needs to get from point A to point B without getting destroyed. I think that would be a lot of fun, almost like a Space Hulky version, but obviously without the Tyranids. Or with the Tyranids, without Terminators. You know what I'm saying. So if any of you played Space Marine 2, you really have an idea what I'm talking about. So after that, I'm going to keep going here a little bit. I think I'm going to make this just a little bit of an interesting session. So one of the biggest things that occurred to me, and going through all this problems that I had, and between not being able to get a podcast out and not being able to, and fighting with technical stuff and stuff like that. I just wanted to really get into the fact that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I know this is on my side, where everything that's going on between all my regular duties and stuff like that, I did run to the point where I was overwhelmed. I didn't know if I wanted to do any of it anymore. I didn't know how I wanted to proceed, if I was going to need to buy a computer, if I need to get better software, how much I was going to have to invest to move up, or do something, change software completely and relearn how to use new stuff. It was all kind of overwhelming. So what I wanted to do was, because it's Mental Health Awareness Month, I did want to say this community of Warhammer is just an amazing community, to kind of bring everything together. Just the fact that, everybody just pulls together. I mean, we stopped at the Warhammer store, and like everybody, as soon as you walk in, it's like everybody wants to talk to you. What army you playing? What are you doing? My buddy Mike up at Green Dice Games, he even reached out to me. He wants to do some table games and stuff like that, and he wants recording stuff. So he reached out to me, and of course, plenty of my friends, Richard and Dan and all of them, kind of reached out, and whether they knew it or not, like just reaching out and kind of like, hey, this is what I'm painting, this is what I'm doing, when are we going to get a game in? That stuff really means a lot to me, and it really kind of helps me keep doing this. And I really want to keep doing this because I'm really enjoying getting out there and reaching to the community as a whole. Hopefully I'll get to a point where there'll be more users and more people that follow and more people that I can reach. But I mean, just because I think the beauty of Warhammer 40K and most of the Warhammer games, I mean, whether it's 40K or you're playing in Age of Sigmar or Warcry or Kill Team or Necromunda, everybody in this community kind of just reaches out to everybody else, and just kind of like, it's like a big hug sometimes. And sometimes, it's not the hug you wanted, but it's the hug you need, in a manner of speaking. But I mean, just reaching out to somebody and saying, hey, what are you working on lately? What I saw this video, and it made me think of you, or you know, seeing random people and seeing like a corn emblem on somebody's car, so, and starting a conversation about Warhammer. I think that's really like the best part of this community. And I want to thank the people that do reach out to me. I want to reach out to the people that maybe can't even hear this, or haven't even heard of me yet, or don't even know what Warhammer is at this point, and just jump on and say, hey, I hear you. What army are you playing? What are you excited about? What's new coming out that you really want to play? I've been playing Warcry for all this time. How do I get into 40K? I've played 40K, but I don't understand what Necromunda is. Reach out to somebody in the community. I mean, there's no better group of people out there. I mean, maybe there is, but in my eyes, there's no better group of people, because you can literally walk up to anybody and say, hey, what army are you working on? What game are you playing? What paints do you use? Do you use Citadel? Do you use Army Painter? Are you a Speed Painter? Do you Zenithal Highlight? Do you, what helps you play the game? Do you have 8 different tape measures that are, do you use the old tried and true big old Sears one, or do you use like the tiny, keychain ones? Are you using movement trays? Or, there's so many different ways to go about what we do in this community. And really, like, for everybody out there, I want to thank you for listening to me, because that's what makes me want to do this more. And so at this point, I'm going to stop. That's enough. I know I don't want to get into the feelings too hard. I don't want to, but on a serious note, if there's somebody that you haven't talked to in a while that plays 40K or Warhammer, and that you just haven't had a chance to talk to in a while, send them a text, send them a message. Hey, what are you working on? How you been? Want to get a game in? Are you up to date? Have you played 10th edition? Can we meet up at the store? Can we, come on over to my house and have some pizza and adult beverages, or, chips and sodas, or whatever. Do yourself a favor, reach out. Don't be alone in this hobby. There's plenty of ways to get out there. I mean, you can get out there on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, if you really just want to do something. But the community's out there. There are more and more people getting into this hobby every day, and most of them, if not all of them, have some kind of obsessive functionality that they need to feed to keep going. Look, I've been collecting Warhammer for 25 years, almost 30, but I've been collecting for this many years, and it's not going to stop. It can't go away. I mean, like, I just want to collect more miniatures. Every time something comes out, I'm like, I could make that army. How's the quickest way to get into Grey Knights? Do I want to really buy a Space Wolf army at this point? Luckily, I have a general rule that says I don't want to play somebody else's army that they have. And so far, in my small group, not in the big group, but in the small group, I'm the only one that plays Dark Angels. I'm the only one that plays Thousand Suns specifically. I'm the only one that plays Eldar. So right now I'm in a small little group, and I don't have any overlapping armies, and I'm good with that. I'm very good with that. So I do have a couple things to work on. I got some of those knights to work on. I haven't had a lot of time to really play around with them. To be honest, I think I only built that one armiger and that's it so far. But it's like a back shelf thing while I'm doing other stuff. And I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. I'm going to have it painted up. And of course, if you don't know, I'm a huge Mandalorian fan. My helmet's right there for my costume. And of course, Baby Yoda's there. The Mandalorian's there. I know it's a little dark, but it's there. Trust me. So for me to say, as a big Star Wars fan and a big Warhammer fan, that I am proud to be part of both of these groups means a lot. So all I gotta say is take care of everybody. Take care of your friends. You never know when they need help. Guys, girls, whatever, reach out, say hi. Trust me, somebody needs it all the time. And with that, I'm going to tell you, here at Table Ready Painting, we're here to help you and your models, and maybe your friend and their models, be table ready. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.